What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast. And on this broadcast, we are going to be bantering about the 2023 Tampa Bay Rays. Now, before I get into my breakdown of the franchise, we have a corresponding article up on laracuenteledger.com breaking down the entire state of this franchise. So links to that are down in the show notes below. Now, we begin with the major acquisition. Now, for the Tampa Bay Rays, the major acquisition was actually the largest free agent contract they've ever handed out, and that was to Zach Eflin. This is going to be a solid pitcher for this rotation. I think that for the Rays, Eflin is going to be a guy who's going to bring a winning pedigree with him. Tampa is a perennial postseason contender, and Zach Eflin is going to be able to help them re-achieve that very goal. I think that for the Rays, this is a guy who has been on some winning teams in the past and has the ability to really impart any potential wisdom to some future generation of Rays greats. As we look at these significant injuries, Brandon Lowe is the guy that I'm focusing on the most. I think that for Tampa, this is such a dynamic player and a lineup changer for them. This is a guy who has a very versatile set and provides some pop in the middle of that order. Tampa has been predominantly a pitching-first organization over the last couple of decades, and offense have been something of a weakness for them over the last couple of decades. And I think that a guy like Brandon Lowe, when healthy, can be a very big addition to this lineup. So seeing how he progresses through spring training to get into the regular season is going to be my focus. Now, as we look at the top prospect for Tampa Bay, is a right-handed pitcher, Taj Bradley. Tampa, as I said, has been a pitching predominant organization over the last 2 decades, and I think that for Tampa, this is another starter in that line. You're talking about some of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball over the last couple of decades have come out of the Tampa Bay Rays organization. Bradley could be that next guy. This is a guy who has a plus fastball, a plus cutter, a good developing changeup, and curveball. I think that there's also an opportunity for Tampa to really start to hone in on what his benefits are, what his skill set is, and really maximize what he is capable of doing. I also think that by being around some of the other players that have come up through the Rays pitching staff over the last couple of seasons can really benefit a guy like Taj Bradley. I think that there's an opportunity for him to potentially see some action at the major league level in 2023. And I think that for Tampa, this is just another line in that pitching dominant organization. And when it comes to the bold prediction for the Tampa Bay Rays, I think they miss out on the postseason. Now, I say that, and I say it with a little bit of a caveat. I think that they're not going to miss the postseason by much. I think that for Tampa Bay, there's going to be injuries that are really going to hamper them this season, and that's what's going to hold them back. I think that overall, Tampa is a postseason organization, a contender each and every single season. I think that this year we're going to see a bit of growth and improvement in a big way from the Baltimore Orioles, and the Toronto Blue Jays are really going to hold down the fort from where they already were, as are the Yankees. So I think that this is an opportunity for Tampa to kind of revisit the well, and I think that for the 2023 season, they just miss out on the postseason. Now, when it comes to the divisional rankings prediction, we have an article up on laracuenteledger.com, as well as a video here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast. But in that, we said that Tampa is going to finish 4th. As I just said a moment ago, I believe that there's going to be a big improvement from the Baltimore Orioles that is going to surpass them into that 3rd place seat. So that leaves Tampa Bay as the 4th place team. Now, when it comes to grading out the pitching staff for the Tampa Bay Rays, this has, as I said, been a pitching-first organization over the last couple of decades. So a B overall grade for this upcoming 2023 staff. I think that there are going to be some players that are unknown in this Rays staff, as there usually are, and they seem to find a way to really maximize everything that they have, whether it's the analytical approach that this organization puts together or the plan of attack with their coaching staff. To me, this is one of the best pitching organizations in in baseball. And I think that when you look at the fact that they have been such a pitching mecca over the past couple of decades, this is a team that has an opportunity to really start to build out that rotation once again. To me, there are going to be some question marks about the health of some of their starters, about what they're going to be truly capable of. But I think that overall, this is going to be a very good pitching staff for the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, when it comes to the offense, I believe that it is an average grade, so we're giving it a C. I think that there are going to be some players to really pay attention to. The aforementioned Brandon Lowe, obviously Wander Franco was once one of the top prospects, once the top prospect in Major League Baseball. There are going to be players on this offensive side of things for the Tampa Bay Rays to be focused on, to pay attention to. But I really question whether or not the ballpark is going to be conducive for being able to score runs. I think that there's an atmosphere of some sort of self-doubt when it comes to that lineup. Not to mention that this has been one of the more injury-plagued lineups over the past couple of seasons. So how that translates in 2023, I think it's going to be a lot of more questions than significant answers. So I think for the Rays, they have an average offense right now, but I think that there is room for improvement. And when it comes to grading out the offseason for Tampa, this to me was a borderline passing offseason. I think a D overall grade is what is appropriate for the Rays. Tampa did not do nearly enough, in my opinion, to really solidify themselves and push themselves up the rankings in the American League East and in the American League wildcard hunt. Yes, there are 3 spots, and I do believe that Tampa is going to be around that mix. But I'm not sure that what they've done this offseason has really helped their team. I think that they're going to be banking a lot on injured players coming back and staying healthy, as well as more development from some of their talented prospects in the minor leagues. Being able to add is going to be a luxury, obviously, that Tampa may not necessarily be able to afford. But there are ways to get creative. We've seen Tampa be able to do this before and really bring in some guys to solidify their opportunities. I think that Zach Eflin is a nice addition, but to me, they spent a lot of money to bring in a guy who's likely going to be a back end of the rotation kind of guy for this organization. So it's going to be a lot of questions as to what they're going to be capable of in terms of the financial resources. So overall, a D for their offseason. And when it comes to grading out this franchise as a whole, I believe that it is a C+. I think that they're an average team right now. As I said, there's question marks to me about the health and stability of both their pitching staff as well as their offense. Being able to solidify that is going to obviously be an ongoing battle for all teams in Major League Baseball. But for me, for Tampa Bay, they're in such a difficult division to win. They're in such a difficult division to be able to maximize their opportunities to even get into the wild card hunt. I think that overall in the American League, there's been a lot of improvement. A lot of teams have been adders at this offseason deadlines. And to me, being able to not have those same kind of financial resources, Tampa needed to get creative and did not. I think that for Tampa, they obviously are going to be a postseason contender each and every single year. The development that they have shown over the past couple of decades has really allowed this organization to flourish over that time frame. And I think that for Tampa, the 2023 season is going to be a season of discovery, and I don't necessarily know that they're just yet at that point where they can supersede some of the other powerhouses in the American League. But I want to hear from you. Let me know, Rays fans, how are you feeling about your chances, your team's chances in 2023? What are the high points? What are the low spots that you're looking at and wanting to see them improve on? Let me know that down in the comments, or you can find me over on Twitter at banter_baseball. If you want to find us more, you can head over to our other social media outlets, Instagram and TikTok, Baseball Banter Broadcast. You can find us on our website, laracuenteledger.com, where we have new articles daily on the world of Major League Baseball, as well as other topics. And if you want to show even more support beyond that, head over to baseballbanterbroadcast.com. It is our merchandise shop, where we have a ton of promo codes you can use to save on some banter merch. Now, if you're following us on YouTube here and you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, I ask that you do so and hit the bell for post notifications. Most of our audience on YouTube has not yet subscribed, so if you love the world of Major League Baseball, I ask that you do me a favor as we try to grow this baseball community and hit that subscribe. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast listening platform, make sure to rate and review, 5-star rating and review, as it truly does help us grow and move up the rankings to show and bring more light to the beautiful world of baseball. So I will catch you guys on the next broadcast when we banter about the world of baseball. Peace.